me down. I talked
All right, we're starting off with George with everyone laughing really loud.
Oh, okay.
We are live. What is up, everyone? OG over here from Player Essence. Welcome to another podcast that we have here for you guys. Today, we've got a great group of the community. Once again, the best community podcast in the world. Everyone say it with me. In the world.
In the world.
In the world.
In the village. The best community podcast in the village.
In the village.
So thank you to everyone who's joining me here. And I'm going to introduce my awesome guests. We even have, check this out, guys. Husband-wife combo. What? What? What is this all about? Anyway, we're going to starting with on all the way to my left, I guess you would say. We've got George here from the community. He is a YouTuber, well, Twitch streamer. He's also part of the Player Essence community. He's pretty good at Rocket League. Pretty bad at...
He's Mama Mercy approved.
Mama Mercy approved. So, George, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, OJ. I had a great time on PE Arena, which was earlier today. I'm sorry I failed you, but not beating Party Man.
When I got him the message, George, for the eShop card, because he already feels bad because he wins it pretty much every single time, you know? So he already feels. I was like, you take this eShop card and you say nothing.
You say nothing.
You say, and I don't want to hear a word out of you. And he tried to deflect it. Party Man, he's too nice. He's like, oh, I can give it to someone. So I was like, no, you win, you take it. That's what PE Arena's about. That's why you guys play hard. You play hard for that eShop, buddy. So, good stuff, George. Good to have you here. Really happy to have you here. So, next we're gonna move on to John Turner. John Turner, how you doing today, man?
Pretty good. I have to admit that I'm keeping my expectations fairly low for this year's E3, just so that I don't.
Wait, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Introductions first. And John is here. Awesome stuff. Good to have you here, John. And then we also have Mama Mercy here as well. So, Mama Mercy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
All right. And we have your husband here for a special.
I know.
Yeah, we got.
What a surprise!
Yes, and we got Skit here, and not only is he here, but it's also his birthday today. So
yeah, it's his birthday.
Yeah. So Skit, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Thanks for the invite onto the stream.
No problem. And we will embarrass you later. Once more people get in, we will definitely.
I mean, if it goes the same way as it did last time, so everyone's saying happy birthday, it's just going to be static. I think I'm alright.
Well, no, there's only us in here, so it's actually going to be pretty good.
I know. You're not getting out of this.
Yeah, you're not getting out of this. It's not like 20 people in Discord like last time or whatever. We're like broke. We only got a couple of us or a few of us here, so we are good. We are good today. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the first topics here, guys. We have the road to E3, and when I say guys, obviously Mama Mercy is a girl.
You can call me a guy.
So I'm just going to say, I'm just letting everyone know right now. Yes, we do have Mama Mercy here. She's always part of the podcast. But yeah, when I say guys, I just refer to everyone here. I should just say Ninja. Let's just go. Okay, Ninja. So let's just go ahead and move on to the first topic here. We have the road to E3. That is obviously a big deal. Everyone here is looking forward to E3. I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to E3, and I want to make sure, that everyone kind of gets their take on E3 and what's going on. So the first thing that I want to talk about is kind of like the memories of E3. What is your best memory, and like how important do you see it? We'll start off with one of our first new people here, George. George, how important is E3 to you, and what is like your single favorite memory from any E3 in the past?
Well, I think that the importance of E3 it's kind of diminished over the years. But at this point, I think Nintendo's at the very least is not as important anymore, just because of Nintendo Directs and and other announcements. They do some announcements on Twitter. Third-party companies do their own announcements for Nintendo games. So the importance of E3, at least for Nintendo, isn't as big. Maybe for Sony and Microsoft, I think it's more important, at least in my opinion, for them, just because they don't have as many opportunities to, do more announcements. They have their PlayStation experience. They have other events, but it's not like Nintendo Direct, in my opinion.
Okay.
But my best E3 moment was probably when they announced Twilight Princess for the first time.
Oh,
and
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And they started talking about like, oh, we have one more new game for the GameCube, and like everybody's like, oh, okay, whatever. Like they weren't expecting much, but then the music started playing. They actually saw Link riding with Epona, like the build up to the music. It was such an amazing hype moment. Then Miyamoto comes out with like a sword and shield. He's like waving it around, like, hey, it's like a precursor to Skyward Sword or something. Like, it was such an awesome hype moment. The moment I'll never forget because I was watching that when I was a kid. So that was probably my best E3 memory.
Nice. Okay, so John, best E3 memory and how important do you feel it is?
Oh my gosh. I'd say that one of my favorite E3 memories is pretty much on par with what George just said. I personally do agree that the Twilight Princess reveal was indeed one of the finest moments of E3. But I think for me, one of my favorite E3 moments has to be might be when they were showing more of any of the Zelda games at any of the E3s, because I do remember in 1998 when we were seeing images of Ocarina of Time, and I always got really, really hyped for it because at the time that was one of my most anticipated games. So for me, E3 was always like just anticipating something really, really amazing to look forward to. I feel like that nowadays E3's importance has kind of gone downhill a little bit over the recent years because, as George said, Nintendo has been doing a lot more events to showcase upcoming titles. But having said that, there still are some things to be said about E3 because you never know what you're going to find. Although personally, for me, I've had quite a number of bitter disappointments at E3 over the recent years, notably from the Wii U years. And so I'm still a little bit tainted by that, even though I know that the Switch is different. So for me, it's cautious enthusiasm for me, but I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. And Mama Mercy, in terms of your thoughts on E3 and kind of your favorite moment, what do you think?
I'm the exact opposite of those two. I love E3. I think E3 is important. It gets people talking about video games and systems. And my house, like, E3 is an event. Like, my kids watch E3. Like, that's how much of an event it is. Like, we all sit in the living room, watch game trailers, and talk about things. And I love E3. And I love what it can do for the community. And I just love seeing what's coming out, especially Nintendo, because Nintendo's always got some wild card up their sleeve.
There's always something crazy. Like Nintendo, it's always like Microsoft and Sony, like, you know what you're going to get. It's always going to be pretty good. Like Phil Spencer's going to walk out there and say, we have this many exclusives, you know, like, and like they end up never being exclusives. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Sony's going to come out and say, we've got this, this, and this. I mean, and it's always the same. And it's great. It's always great stuff, right? It's always great stuff if you like those systems. But man, like Nintendo, you always think like they're gonna drop some type of crazy Nintendo bomb on things. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Crazy Nintendo bomb.
Yeah, I mean that's what it sounds like to me. Like every time, like people get so hyped for Nintendo, like sometimes way too hyped, like overhyped. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy, and then like I don't know, George. You sound like you want to say something too. You want to add in there, George? You want to add anything?
Well, it's also like I agree. Like E3 it really is an event. But I feel like Nintendo Directs or events also. Like, I mean, maybe not as big as E3, but they're like mini E3s sometimes, especially the Direct from March. I thought that was a huge moment, especially because Smash Brothers was announced for the Switch. I think because of that aspect of Nintendo Directs and the fact that it can be treated as a hype event, I think kind of doesn't make E3 as special like it used to be before Nintendo Directs because there's others like it, I feel.
I have something to battle that point.
Okay.
And it's just from last year's E3. Miyamoto, Ubisoft, Mario's hand cannon. You don't get that on a Direct. You don't get that energy.
That's true.
That is
you
true.
don't get that crowd screaming. Like everybody was like, "Oh, this is gonna be like, oh, they're like, oh, rabbits, big deal." But when Miyamoto came out with Mario's hand cannon and everything, the energy in the room changed. Like we don't get that on directs. And
no, but we won't get that from Nintendo's E3 either. That was Ubisoft's E3.
Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah,
I think
it's the whole
the
E3.
potential. I think she's saying like the potential of something like that happen. Like for instance, like your moment, right? Like with your E3 moment, George, where like
it's always Miyamoto.
Miyamoto's freaking swinging a sword like young Link. You know what I'm saying? Swinging a sword like young Link's taunt on Smash Brothers. Like,
yeah, that was. Yeah, that moment where Miyamoto came out with a sword was truly badass, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I actually prefer that Nintendo does the digital reveals instead, because it seems to be working for them. They've had a lot of like problems with their live reveals, so I'm okay with the digital stuff.
Oh, I can attest to that.
What are you talking about? I thought some of their best moments are live, Mama Mercy. What are you talking about?
Wii music, best thing ever, right?
Yeah, like the Wii music thing or the Wii music thing that we watched like 3 days ago with you.
Yeah, that guy would go ham on the drums.
No, do you guys remember E3? Well, obviously that was a great part. But do you guys remember E3 2012? Then that was the launch year of the Wii U. That was the most anticlimactic. They're like, we've got one more last thing, and like they started setting up a stage. Like it's Nintendo Land.
Oh
yeah.
Nintendo Land. Oh.
Why?
Yeah.
Gosh. They had a huge stage set up. They had everything set up for Nintendo Land.
Yeah, they went all out for Nintendo Land.
They did. It was funny.
They foolishly thought they could recapture the Wii Sports audience with that title. Didn't work.
No, did not. So, Skiz, I want to talk to you real quick.
I didn't get to say my moment.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mama Mercy. I'm terribly sorry about that.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Because I'm going to be the oddball here. I don't remember what year it was, but it was Xbox's announcement of Scalebound.
I believe that was 2016, I think.
The first announcement where Hideki Kamiya came out and said, "Hey, we're developing Scalebound for the X," like that one.
No, when we first got the trailer.
Oh, okay, so that was E3 20. Was that 2016?
I believe it was 2016.
2016,
yeah.
2015 it was announced, right? 2015 it was announced, and then like
that trailer though it was 2016, I think.
And then when I saw it was made by Platinum, who makes Bayonetta, I was like, oh, I must have this game. And then I was like, oh, we get to fight dragons. And then when the main character smiled at the dragon and they started beating up the other monster, I was like, oh, I get dragons! I get dragons! This is all I've ever wanted.
And then we got the game and it ran at 12 frames per second.
No, we never got the game. They canceled.
Oh, we never got the game in the first place.
They came out with the trailer and it was like he's doing the robot, like you got the guy doing the robot right there. Everyone's like, it still looks good.
That alpha footage was definitely top quality for it.
The last one they showed before they decided to cancel it was looking really good. I was like stalking that game. Like, I'm surprised I didn't get thrown in jail.
Yeah.
No, Mr. Nickel from the chat said slideshow bound. How to Tame Your Slideshow? Is that the movie?
I don't know. Mr. Nickel's been after me the last couple days.
You're good. You're good, Mr. Nickel. You're funny, man.
My boy Camille, like, can somebody tell me why this is not running better? Who knows frame rates in this place?
Oh, man, that footage came out when they showed that footage or that play test, and you note everybody in the room who was part of the game development team stared at it for a minute and then looked at each other.
Like, oh,
something's wrong here. Something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Because Platinum's known for their frame rate. Like, even in games that are like 30 frames per second, like, for example, like, what was it? Vanquish. Like, Vanquish plays like it's 60. I mean, it's not 60, but it, like, you don't feel like this is inhibiting your game. You know what I'm saying? Like at any point when you play Vanquish. So
yeah, and that's what Platinum is known for, is high quality, low frame rate games.
Yeah.
So, well, high frame rate.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So great moment, Mama Mercy. Great
You guys
moment.
can laugh at me all you want, but I was super excited for that
We're
game.
not laughing at
No, we're
No
not.
way.
We're just laughing
You
at
found
the
it exciting. You
situation.
found it exciting.
We're laughing at the situation is more than the funniest thing too is like that I saw the other day. I was like, oh man, when you knew it was bad, like JP Kellums. So JP Kellums, he used to work at Platinum Games. Now he works for EA. And you know, I see him on Twitter every now and then. I'll say what's up to him. He'll say what's up back. And JP was like, he said that he was happy that the game was canceled. Like he was like, oh yeah, like he walked into a store and someone said, hey, weren't you like, you know, at Platinum you were working on Scalebound? And then he's like, yeah, like somebody asked him that, and he's like, I was happy that it got canceled. And I was like, oh man, like it must have been pretty bad, you know.
Development,
horror.
Oh dear.
They were working with Xbox. What do you expect?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's the case.
Unfortunately,
It was 100% the case.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox got greedy.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go to move on. Or actually, Skits. Not move on yet. I want to know your thoughts in terms of E3. How important is it? And also, what you think? What's your favorite E3 moment?
So, level of importance, I still see E3 as a really important thing, especially for the all the different types of all the different consoles. Because I mean, Nintendo has a lot of their own stuff. Xbox and Sony really rely on E3 for the big announcements. So I think it's still important for them. Like George and John were saying, Nintendo, probably not so much. They have enough of their own small things throughout the year that give us their announcements.
Okay.
As far as my favorite E3 moment, originally when I first started thinking about it, the Final Fantasy VII remake was huge to me because I've been waiting, years to see it after we heard about it. But the more I thought about it, I think probably my biggest E3 reveal, and it was Ubisoft. It was the Mario Rabbids Kingdom, because everyone was convinced it was fake. No one believed it was coming, and then all of a sudden, nope, here it is. Here's a huge stage. We're doing this. It's going to be a thing. And when they walked out with that announcement, it blew my mind. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, I do have some people saying that my voice is low. I kind of did some tinkering with the volume, so hopefully the voice is better now. And guys, let me know in the chat. But yeah, Skiz, I mean, that was great. I mean, although I will say this, your boy here, okay, I did say that was real, and I had a source tip me off.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, but I mean, at the time, right? Like, there were a lot of quote unquote sources that were, it's real, and then there were also the same reverse where they're like, no, you know that they're not making that. So even people with highly regarded channels, like, you have to take it with a grain of salt when their source is saying something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. But I just wanted to mention, because Player Essence gets that information. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to kind of put myself out there.
And you're hiding that information.
Yeah, you are hiding that info right now.
For this year's E3.
I will say, I was also the first to officially report that Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is using the Snowdrop engine. I was the first to report that as well. So I mean, a lot of people knew, because once I talked about it, everyone started saying, "Oh yeah, it's using Snowdrop engine." I even got referenced in one of Go Nintendo's articles, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we heard the same thing." And then also Nintendo, everything said, "Yeah, we heard the same thing." So I mean, there was many people who knew, just nobody wanted to report on it.
No, I mean, to be fair about that, OJ, like, you getting that right is the reason that I continued watching your channel. So.
A lot of pressure. I got it right.
I was still watching.
Mercy already liked you. I don't watch a lot of the newscast type channels. But you straight know this is real. It's a thing. And when it became a thing, I'm like, all right, he knows what he's doing. We'll watch it.
Woo!
Skits was hovering over the subscribe button with that subscribe button.
Because I kind of messed it up too, a little bit, because I did get some information that Splatoon 2 or Splatoon was like, at first my source told me that it was just it was a port, but the only reason why they told me it was a port, but I was the first to report that Switch is getting Splatoon. You know, it's getting Splatoon, but I reported that it was like a port, or it was like a remake, or whatever the case was. You know, I didn't know, because like I think my source didn't know, because the graphics at the time, you know, like the graphics at the time that it was then, like, you guys remember like the test fire? Remember how the test fire looked almost identical, if not identical, to Splatoon 1, you know?
Very vaguely.
So it was 720p. It was, you know, it just looked exactly like it. So I think that's where my source got, like, when they were seeing it, like, oh, this looks exactly like Splatoon 1. They probably had it at the same stage too, you know? So maybe that's what it was. So I did slip up on that one, but I got it though. I was the first to report on Splatoon coming to Switch. So this was before we knew about that. But yeah, no pressure. But good stuff. All right, so we do got a couple more topics when it comes to the road to E3. In terms of my own things, with, like, for me, E3, I think E3 is becoming less, like, for Nintendo, I think E3 is more of like, okay, how can we make this an event for our fans, more so than just like announcements. Like, you know, they're doing like the Splatoon, the World Championships. They're doing the Smash Brothers Invitational again. I mean, they did the Nintendo World Championships beforehand, so they make it more of an event, like a live show. How can we do that? And how can we make like the whole digital side of it, like the presentation? How can we streamline that and kind of make it more fun for people that are there, and also for people that are watching, to make it more of a joyous atmosphere instead of just like announcements. So I think it's becoming less and less important because they have Nintendo Direct, but at the same time, it's still important to have those games out there and be, you know, have it ready for people to play. So I think it's cool. Obviously, E3 is always going to be around. When it comes to my favorite E3 moment, I have probably like my favorite E3 moment has to be like, man, there's so many great moments. There's so many good ones, but I think probably like the Twilight Princess. That was probably like my favorite E3 moment was that. But I would say like a close tie was the Ravi roll. I love that moment. Like, there he's just drumming, dude. Like, and I think it's funny. I just find it hilarious. If you guys haven't seen this E3 2008, you got the guy named Ravi on the drums, and he's just like
I don't remember that.
And he's just like drumming and like air drumming with Wii remote. So, and he's using the balance board. So yeah, those two moments are my favorites. Like, great, like actually real good moment, then so bad it was good moment. You know what I'm saying? So bad it was good. Or my body is Reggie. You know what I'm saying? Or my body is ready. Like the whole balance board stuff. That stuff. Anything with the balance board. How about that? Moments with balance boards. Cammy Dunway when she's like, oh, she's like snowboarding.
Oh God, no.
She's like snowboarding, and Shaun White. She's like, hey guys, and it was just like, what is she doing?
I actually didn't watch that, but it sounds awful.
Yeah, it just sounds
no, it was, when I was watching it, I was like, I think I like this, or do I not like this? I was confused whether I like it or not, because I like Shaun White. I like snowboarding games. I actually ended up buying the game Shaun White Snowboarding. I thought it was really good on the Wii, but I didn't know if I actually liked what was going on stage. But looking back, I thought it's great. It's absolutely phenomenal. So, so we're gonna go ahead and move on, guys, from this segment of the Road to E3.
Hold on 1 second, OJ.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
We have 137 people watching and only 37 likes.
Oh
wow!
Smash that like button, people.
What is George? Why are you telling people not to hit the like button?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
George, can you please tell people what they should do right now?
I'm sorry.
They should smash the like button, everybody.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button. And can we all get a RIP in the chat for Night Moon, because my boy cannot join. So
yeah, something.
So yeah,
I was wondering what happened.
We were supposed to have Night Moon here, but apparently he cannot join. The Canadian internet gods are not on his side today.
The Canadian internet gods.
So terribly sorry, Night Moon.
My happy birthday. And we all know how, you know, important the bloodline is to this community. Yes. So let's get some likes, guys.
Get some likes.
For OJ, for my hubby, Skits, let's get those likes. Let's smash that like button. Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Smash. George equals the best person to blame right now. Right at this point. At this point, I scanned through and I was like, "Who should I blame?"
No, OJ.
That's more like
Lucina said that in the chat. By the way, that was a Lucina thing. That wasn't me.
I
says,
blame
"I will
OJ
like for
for not
George."
having Mama Mercy approved stamp on his thing.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the next part. And guys, this is the this is the leaked E3 list. So we're probably going to spend a good amount of time on this. And if you guys have questions, please hold on to them at the end. We'll answer those. Any questions, Streamlabs or Super Chat questions, we'll go ahead and get to those at the end. And we'll try to pick up certain comments here and there to try to get some integration. So I do appreciate all the support, guys. So we're going to go to the E3 leak list, and the first thing that I want to start with is info apparently on Nintendo Switch's online will be coming on May 7th, so that is Monday. Let me pull up the rest of this list, guys. I'm sorry, I had it up and then all of a sudden it literally disappeared. But there's quite a number of things. I want you guys to first just talk on Nintendo's online. What do you guys think about that? And then we'll get into the rest of the list in just a bit. So Mama Mercy, you want to start off? What do you think about this online? Were you able to go over the list, or did you see what they're talking about in the online? What's going to happen there?
I remember hearing you talk about it, but I didn't get a chance to review it again before this.
Okay, so it's going to be Monday, May 7th. Let me just ask you right now, do you guys think, just as a community question right now, do you guys think Monday, May 7th, is it happening? Are we getting this Monday, May 7th? That's what I want to know. 7th. Monday, May 7th is when they said that there's going to be more info on the Switch Online. You guys think this is actually happening?
I think at best we're going to get an announcement for something that they're going to do. That's at best.
It's kind of hard to say because because of what Nintendo has said already about there being more info early May. So I want it. My gut says no, but I can't really. I gotta say yes. I say we will get
George is
more info.
Believe in the leak. Okay, so George, hold on. Before we get into so have you seen the leak at all? The leak list, George?
Yeah, I just looked it over right now. Yeah.
Okay, so George, so if you believe that, do you believe the rest of this stuff? If you believe that, does that if this happens to be true, will you be like, oh, well, snap, this guy's right, or will you still be cautious?
No, you know why? You know why I say no is because a lot of the stuff in terms of like the online service is stuff that Nintendo has already said. Like, it's not really anything too out there because, like, the one game a month thing, they've already said that. Voice chat through an existing service, maybe through Nintendo's own service, maybe through a smartphone app, maybe that'll happen. And also, Virtual Console being rebranded. We've already got, that's kind of what the one game a month is, Nintendo Classics, the classic game section. So I don't necessarily believe the leak. Yeah, exactly. I think he just he had like a calendar and he just picked a day. Like, all right, May 7th.
I mean, early May, right? There's two dates. You know what I'm saying? So it's either the 7th, right, or it's the 14th. Because then it's not early. Then it's not early May, really. Then it's not early May. So I think he just picked a Monday and he went with that one. I mean, I think he might be wrong. I don't think it's coming. I don't think it's coming on May 7th. I want to be wrong that I'm wrong. I want people to come May 7th. But, who knows? Let me go over some of this other stuff so you guys can kind of comment on it. There's a lot of different things here, guys. So I'm gonna run down everything, and then you guys can kind of pick out, because like if we went through everything, it would take way too long. So I'm gonna run down everything, then you guys can kind of pick out a couple bullet points as far as what you guys think. Whether you just think all this is trash, whatever your case is, we'll go through each one of you guys. So let's go over all this, guys, so people in the chat can also know what we're talking about. So basically, like what George said, there's gonna be games, what Mama Mercy said. There's going to be the games that you get, whatever the case is, that Nintendo Classics. But then he also said, here's the one thing he said. He said, service offers dedicated voice chat through an existing chat service, Discord being the most popular choice. So I don't know about that. Exclusive eShop discounts, games with Gold/PlayStation Plus type of deal. He also stated that Nintendo E3 presentation is currently 36 minutes long and will focus on Switch titles and Treehouse being used to show 3DS titles. He said the first reveal is of Spyro Trilogy coming to the Switch, though there's a reason that they've been waiting to reveal it. Then he said that, so we're getting into the E3 digital presentation here, guys. He said that Fire Emblem is next, and the title is called Lustrous Daybreak, which... whatever on that, and it's coming holiday this year. He said, or she said, this post, I'm just gonna say this post said, Yoshi is next, now subtitle flipped around and features the same amiibo functionality as Woolly World, releases in August. Flipped around. Flipped around. He says new Paper Mario game is next and is not being developed by Intelligent Systems. Goes back to traditional partner style, but it's still kind of like Color Splash and all that stuff. That's coming 2019. Says that Mario. This one triggers me. He says that Super Mario Odyssey DLC is next. Luigi is being released as a playable character and adds 7 moons. That doesn't trigger me. This next part triggers me, where I'm like, okay, this is like BS. And he says Wario and Waluigi are being made playable characters with 70 moons each as well. Which that. Like, imagine Wario just like, yeah, Wario. Like, imagine Wario.
I definitely think that half of it is BS.
What is Wario doing? Like, imagine Wario.
What's he doing there?
Disgusting, fat butt looking behind from Wario, seeing him jump and roll. Like, imagine that's disgusting. I don't want to see Wario do. I don't want Waluigi's stupid looking self. Like, no. If this is right, I'm slapping Miyamoto. That's the Miyamoto's not even the one who did this game, and I'm slapping him. I'm definitely slapping Miyamoto if this is true. Because you know there's that one person at Nintendo that's like, what if Waluigi? You know there's that one guy that's like sitting at his desk just like this, like eating cheese puffs, and just like, what if Waluigi was in Mario? Like, you know there's that one guy. You know there is.
There's obviously that one guy because he was created in the first place.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, you know there's that one guy that's like that. So something tells me, like, it's funny because it's like this is like sounds like the most BS, but something tells me that Nintendo's crazy enough. They're crazy enough to oh my god, I would hope not. Anyway, let's continue.
I mean, if they want to make money off it, their smart choice would be like, well, obviously Luigi because that's his brother, but like Peach because a lot of people are like, are we going to get Peach as a playable character? Since I mean, I think my kids want to run around as Bowser. They got that one level where they could like possess Bowser, and they're like, can we get more of that, please?
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry, spoilers.
So yeah, we'll move on from that.
It's like 8 months, 6 months. It's okay.
Yeah, so no tentative release date on the other 2 characters, but they are being made playable at the show floor. So he says it's going to be at E3. So Activision makes some announcements. Crash Bandicoot Amiibo is being made and adds harder time trials for the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, and is teased to have some kind of functionality with Spyro Trilogy. So there's that. There's also Black Ops 4 Battle Royale is coming to the Switch with crossplay with PC and Xbox One, but regular Black Ops 4, so that game itself is not coming. So there's the rumors about a Battle Royale mode for Call of Duty. That's apparently, like he's saying that's real, but the Switch is only getting that. So Sega reveals their Sega Ages line for the West, and two of the games are released under the first 2 are Sonic Adventure games. So Dreamcast titles are in, essentially, what he's saying here, which Sega did hint that Dreamcast was coming. Dreamcast and Sega Saturn. So Super Sonic Racing is revealed and takes the inspiration from Sonic R with some characters like Sonic running on their own, while characters like Tails use vehicles. Some kind of Nintendo exclusive content is being teased for the game. So they did tease like an engine with that game. It's not called Super Sonic Racing. It's just we just know there's like a Sonic. There's just an R. All they did was an R, so maybe that's where this person just made that up. But, I mean, they did tease a vehicle in there. So, I mean, if Sonic is running, but, like, other people got vehicles, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see with that. So, this game is apparently still relevant somewhat. So, Five Nights at Freddy's is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Though the reports are coming in that, okay, this is just stupid, the other stuff that he said, but whatever. He just said there might be some content or censored or cut. I don't know. 2 trailers for Super Smash Brothers are the last things. One of them reveals Captain Toad.
Captain Toad?
Captain Toad. Oh, no. Like Captain
He can't even jump. How is he going to function in the game?
I was just seeing just like, oh, no. And you see his eyes in Smash.
When he needs to jump, what's going to happen is Peach is just going to show up and throw.
I know, seriously. After being such
Doesn't she use him as a shield?
A ragdoll for Peach for so many years, Captain Toad's like, I've had enough. He just decides to jump in himself. Let's see here. They also say
Crash.
Oh god. So not only is Crash Bandicoot in Smash, but also Spyro's in Smash. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro in Smash. This guy was like, I'm gonna make a list tonight. I'm gonna make a list. It's gonna be crazy. It's Crash Bandicoot and Spyro in Smash, and this is why they've been quiet about the Switch version of the trilogy of the Spyro trilogy. Gameplay being shown as a mix between Smash 4 and Melee, being very colorful yet detailed. Coming out September alongside the online service. Ice Climbers are also set to be revealed, which I do think Ice Climbers are coming.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So that's that. So he said check back on May 4th. Or sorry, May 7th.
No, he says also, that's all. I don't know any more specifics. Yet this list is incredibly detailed. Like, how do you not know any more specifics?
In my honest opinion, people who make claims like that are only setting themselves up to be disproven.
We don't know who his name is Lazzy Man. Like, well, who cares? Lazzy Man. Like, Lazzy Man was wrong. I mean, obviously he puts himself, nobody credible is going to put out a list like this. Even if they know it, even if they know everything, which yes, there are people who get information on Nintendo's directs and stuff beforehand. They don't leak everything. They don't do it. So even people who are credible and knowledgeable on the matter would not leak all of this beforehand because they don't want it to be traced back to them. Guys, there are times when, I'll be honest, okay, like before the Nintendo Direct, the Mini, I almost knew, not everything, but I knew a lot about that one beforehand. I intentionally did not, well, the person that knew told me some stuff, but I didn't look through it because I wanted to have a good reaction to it, you know? So I looked at a couple things, I was like, oh, and then I stopped, and I was like, oh, okay. But there are people who do know stuff before the directs are seen. But none of them ever leak it. Notice how we never get any actual, because nobody wants it to be traced back to them, you know? So I'd be very, this seems to me like a bunch of guesses. Like a bunch of guesses, educated guesses and stuff. So what are your let's go over our bullet points. We'll start, Skiz, Birthday Boy, we'll start with you, man. What are your bullet points on what you feel about this, man?
I mean, it's pretty clear that none of it's real at this point. But the big tell, like Crash and Spyro in Super Smash Brothers, no, that's not going to happen. We know that. Anyone who follows the idea of the game concept knows that. So I think, like George was saying earlier, he grabbed a bunch of stuff that was already talked about from Nintendo and kind of put a list together and then threw a bunch of other stuff on there. Everyone wants that 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So, and it got it. He personally may not be known, but everybody now knows his name as the person for this leak.
Lazzy Man, the legend.
The legend.
So do I think that there's a chance that at least some of it can be true? Sure. But like May 5th or May 7th being the announcement for or more info on online, no, probably not. But I do think we have a chance of hearing when the next Direct will be on the 7th.
So you think that they're going to before E3 essentially they're going to have a Direct before E3? Are you?
Yeah, because they don't. I mean, everyone's waiting for online, but Nintendo's not going to want their online service to be the focal point of their E3.
No.
So if they announce a little information before E3 in May, here's info on online services, here's when it's possibly coming, a small Direct focused on that, then when E3 hits, they can focus more on the games that are coming with that and Smash Brothers, and because then everyone's waiting for online, so that's sated a month early, and then the games happen at E3.
Okay, makes sense. Mama Mercy, your thoughts? A couple takeaways from this list. What do you think?
I think he grabbed a lot of things we already know and like threw in some wild cards to get people's attention. Like, everybody's been saying, well, Spyro and Crash are coming to the Switch, so they're going to be in Smash Brothers. And that doesn't mean anything. But if I remember correctly, we did have a Direct last year before E3 to get like small things out of the way that they didn't want to talk about at E3.
Did we?
I think so. I think we had one in May. We had a small direct. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I remember it was small, and it was all like, because I remember talking to Skits about it and be like, oh, I'm glad that wasn't E3 stuff.
I'm trying to look, and it seems like there's been Nintendo Directs in May of 2016, but I don't see anything of 2017.
Okay, maybe it was 2016.
Yeah.
Dude, I have 2 kids. Like,
yeah.
I barely know my name some days.
I don't.
What year are we in?
Yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct on May 11th, 2016.
What was that Direct about?
I don't know. I'm just looking at this thing here. There's been so many Directs here. Maybe some of you guys in the chat, maybe you guys can know about this. In terms of one with the last Direct was. Well, John, what's your thoughts on this this list and what's going on here?
That's what it was. Thank you, El Cooper Chopra. It was the Pokemon Direct.
Oh yeah, that was Pokemon. But
what are my thoughts on the list? 2 words. It's fake. And there are several clues that clued me in on it. First of all, it's a post that comes from GameFAQs. And GameFAQs forum posts, as you know, are pretty much worthless. A lot of people there just bully each other all the time. And 2, the name seemed very, very dubious from the start. And 3, no way would anybody from Nintendo leak something like this to anybody before a show. Not even close. So those 3 things were enough to tell me that I felt that this list was fake. And frankly, I choose not to listen to anything about it until I see it for myself. But yeah, there were definite warning signs that I saw from the start. Now, I do think that maybe there might be some truth to some things in there, like maybe the online thing. But honestly, I don't believe a single word in that post. I think it's fake.
Okay. So, George, thoughts?
Real quick, because Amiibo fan said this in the chat and I liked it. I think it's somebody's dream list that turned into a fake leak. So I think Amiibo fan, this was somebody who made a list of what they want to see, and somehow that became a leak idea.
Okay. George, did you give your thoughts already?
I think this is completely real. I feel that everything here is on point.
He's beating.
He was fighting that smile from the second he opened his mouth.
Well, obviously, I think the reason why I can't completely discount this list, I mean, because it's built off of the skeleton of info we already know. So that's kind of what Skits and Mom Mercy have already said, where they put in information that we already know, info that is likely, and then they threw in a little bit of what fans want, like Spyro and Crash. That's what a lot of people want. So they're like, that kind of makes people hope that this is real, and that's why it's getting attention, because they want it to be real, even though Better Judgment says otherwise. And also how he ends the post. He says, I'm not a person who actually saw all of this. A contact with connections of marketing saw all of this and shared it to me. It's like, so he's just getting it off of some other guy who, and we don't even know this person. He's not even a reputable insider when it comes to Nintendo. So I would have to say it's fake also.
Okay. All right then. So,
but that doesn't mean we're not getting a direct before E3.
I mean, we might. I mean, it might be like
Pokemon,
like the Pokemon, or it might be like a direct focus on something else. Like, it's not the first time that we've actually gotten something like that beforehand. And did somebody disappear off the screen here?
John just dropped out.
John disappeared into the shadow room.
He shadow cloned out of here. He was like, all right, then, let's just. Okay. Okay. So I think that with this whole thing. Oh, there you go.
There he is.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know why I dropped out.
It's okay. It happens. It happens, man.
Yeah.
I think with this whole list, I think definitely it's like a list that he wanted to like try to take like certain things, like throw in a couple shock factor, throw in like some stuff that we already know, like throw in that, try to make it sound. But yeah, I don't think it's this list is really anything. We'll find out though. We'll find out Monday. Monday it will be
Monday's the day.
The day of
I am
reckoning
not getting my hopes up about that.
For this person. Monday is the day of reckoning because we'll see what happens here with it. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what goes down. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on Monday. Because obviously,
I am not.
Oh, for comedic purposes, not for.
I'm assuming PE Live that day is going to be very hilarious.
It's going to be lit. If it's true, man, it's gonna oh man, it is going to be funny doing PE Live. If it's not true, it's gonna be like, all right, well, it's still going to be lit because we can talk about how like this silly, how dumb this person was, but then we can also do whatever. So yeah, if you're just joining us, we just got done with our first couple things with the road to E3. We're talking about that. We're gonna get into a couple other things here when it comes to some sales numbers, some other games coming to Switch and all that. What we can get through, and we need to leave enough time for Q&A. So we're probably gonna skip a couple topics. But I do want to say we do have a very special day today. Because it's his birthday, so we were going to sing happy birthday to Skiz on stream. So, Skiz, are you ready for your happy birthday boy?
Why not? I'll even turn the camera on. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Skits, what's going on, man?
Hi, Skits. Okay, so on the count of 3, everyone, we're going to sing some happy birthday. 1, 2, and 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Skit. Happy birthday to you.
You guys ever had a record player and you put your hand on it to slow it down a little bit? Happy birthday.
Oh man.
Nice.
Hold on, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem,
man.
Birthday boy.
Definitely,
no problem.
Man.
So looking forward to. Obviously, I know you're probably gonna have you have your family there. You're gonna have a good birthday. But everyone here from the village, we all want to say happy birthday to you, man. And glad that you're a part of the village with us. Hopefully for a very, 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 very long time and many, many, many more years to come, man. So happy birthday.
As long as you guys are willing to put up with me, I'll stay.
you barely talk. It's all good.
It's all good. You're just not in this.
He says things when it's important.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're the perfect person to have around.
I have to be that way. You're family friendly.
Yeah, that's true. I learned a lot about myself going family friendly, though. I really did. I think
we all have.
Yeah, I think all of us have learned a lot about ourselves going family friendly. Like, you know, I don't have to cuss. It's okay. I can make it.
I can make it.
I can do this because I mean, obviously, football players, you know, you're gonna cuss every now and then.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it happens. Like whenever something bad happens, it's like, oh, you know, because like that's just how I was playing football, and you hear it so much. So, but yeah.
Also, we're adults.
Yeah,
like
we're adults.
we waited for that, you know, that crowning moment where we're like, you know, we got that right, and nobody was going to look down on us it.
I don't think it was. It probably wasn't as hard as like the WWE. I mean, they had to completely change everything, you know. So.
Oh yeah, the stuff they used to get away with.
Oh my gosh!
Now?
Yeah, I look at wrestling now, and I'm like, what is this? Like compared to what I watched when I was a kid.
Man, Stone Cold used to give like the middle finger to everybody.
Oh, yeah. And how about the wrestlers, like the divas? Think about how divas are now compared to how they were back then. You know, like completely different story. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they had to learn too. They had a lot of soul searching to do. So it works because it helps around my daughter as well. So all right, so we are going to get into the next topic here. I want to leave enough time for Q&A. So we are going to skip over a couple of them. God of War we might get to another time. Also, I wanted to skip over to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze because I wanted to get you guys' opinion on this because this has been pretty, I think it's been vocal minority type of deal, but still enough for people to get upset about it. So Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze apparently is #1 on the eShop charts. Number one on the eShop charts in
It
most
is.
places. Yep, on North America, I know. Europe, I know it's rising or it's already there. I'm not sure about Japan, but it's also number one on Amazon right now too. So a lot of people are going out there and picking it up. Usually, you can tell things are going pretty good. If you got eShop charts number one, you got Amazon charts number one. Things are usually going pretty good for you. You're gonna. I mean, we saw that with Bayonetta, and I think this is even doing a little bit better than Bayonetta. I think this is doing better than that game. So we saw that with Bayonetta, and then we got the sales numbers. It's near 400,000 units sold for a port. Really good, full price port. So you know things are going pretty well when you get that combo between the two. And Nintendo's recording some really good digital sales for the Switch. So what do you guys think about this? First of all, I want to get you guys' opinion because it was funny because I was having a discussion on somebody online and they're like, oh, well, you need to acknowledge that this is BS what they're doing. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to acknowledge. Like, I can understand if someone else is upset, but I'm not, because I've never been upset or acknowledged that this is horrible or scummy when other companies charge full price for ports. This is not a new concept, okay? This is something that has happened before. This is not the first time ever that we've seen a port from last generation that's much cheaper come over to new generation and it's full price. This is not the first time, and I've never complained about it beforehand. So everyone's like, oh, well, you're just defending Nintendo. And I'm like, no, I've never complained about it beforehand, and I've actually even defended like ports just in general. If people want to play it and they feel the game is worth $60, then let them go buy it. If it's not worth, this is my opinion on this. If it's not worth it, then don't go buy it. I mean, like, it's that simple. I don't think they're scummy. It's just like they put their price on it. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. If you do like it, then you go play it. And that's how I've been with ports on the PS4 and Xbox One all the way through. So I've been consistent. So I don't want to hear any trash from people out there trying to make this a Nintendo thing. Okay, I don't want to hear any of that because it's garbage. And I even have videos on my channel to prove it. So I just want to make sure that I put that disclaimer out there. So I want to start with George. What's your thoughts on this? First, on the sales of it doing so far. It looks like it's so far so good. And also on the whole full price port thing. Like, what's your idea? And you don't have to, obviously, you don't have to think the same thing that I think. That's just my own personal opinion.
Yeah. I think in terms of the Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze sales, I think that's a really good thing, especially since a lot of people, like you said, have trashed the game, have trashed the pricing of this game. They complain that it's a full $60 port, and their whole logic behind it is that, well, it's already on Wii U, and they didn't really add that much content, so why even charge $60? It should have been $40, it should have been $30. But also, it kind of proves that people would pay extra money for the Switch functionality. Like, they want to have it handheld, they want to be able to play it anywhere they want, and that's such a good thing to see. And also, when it comes to like other platforms getting ports, like full price ports, like PlayStation got a lot of them during the first year. I mean, I remember like the joke on Sony with the PlayStation 4 was like people were calling it the remaster station 4. Like Sony was getting so many remasters, so many ports, but people still bought them. They were still successful, and it filled out Sony's first couple, maybe a year and a half.
A couple years, yeah.
Yeah, a couple years.
Yeah.
Because they needed the content. They didn't have enough content, original content.
I think the last of us remastered, that was $60, right, when it launched?
Yeah.
So.
A lot of remasters are $60 when they launch.
$60.
Some of them were 40. I know there was like some like the DMC was 40. I know some of the I think Final Fantasies maybe were 40 or 50. I'm not really sure, but I know not all of them were for full price, but some of them were full price. So yeah. Yeah,
and also Donkey Kong, I think, kind of proves that that whole narrative that, oh, it's already on Wii U, so why would I pay for it on Switch? I think Donkey Kong it should be that final nail in the coffin of that narrative of, well, why should I buy it on Switch when it's on Wii U? We went through it with Mario Kart. Yeah. Like, I remember everybody was talking the same thing about Mario Kart.
Oh, God.
OT knows.
Oh, God. That was horrible. That was horrible. That was really bad. No, you have zero business sense if you thought that Mario Kart shouldn't come over. Like, absolutely zero. Like, I would slap whoever was. I would have slapped Kimishima if he said, you know what, due to fan outcry, we're not gonna, due to fans complaining, we're not gonna release this highly successful game on our new. I would slap him. That'd be a horrible present if he did that. Horrible.
And also, didn't Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sell over 9 million at this point?
Yeah,
it's over 9 million. So
10.
It already outsold the Wii U version, and the Wii U version's been out since 2014. It's insane. So bringing ports over from a dead system is not a bad thing, and I think Donkey Kong proves that, and also Bayonetta I think proves that also.
Okay. Bayonetta's doing good. Okay, John, your thoughts?
My thoughts are pretty much the same as George's because because the Wii U was such a huge failure, many titles that were released on the system went unnoticed, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, normally a bestseller on some other Nintendo systems, it too was a victim of such circumstances. So in a way, I'm happy to see it getting a second win, but in a way, I'm not really surprised because, one, the Switch is much more successful than Wii U ever was, and two, a lot of people love playing Donkey Kong Country. I mean, I'm a fan of Donkey Kong Country, the classic SNES titles, and while Tropical Freeze may not necessarily be my favorite, I definitely do acknowledge that it is a good game, and so I'm happy to see people giving it a second chance. But also because the cynical side of me says it's because Nintendo gamers will always buy anything from Nintendo, but, if it works very well, it works very well. What does it matter?
Mm-hmm. Except for Amiibo Festival, they didn't buy that. But
yeah,
and Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, they didn't buy that either.
Oh yeah, those two games were not particularly good.
What's a Wii U? That's what Mr. Nichols saying in the chat. He doesn't.
He keeps saying that over and over again.
That's just it. They didn't do a good job marketing the system. Period. And it was a flawed product from the start.
You know what? The funny thing, Mr. Nichols. You know who else also said that? Like everyone at Nintendo also said, "What's a Wii U?" Like, they've already
dear.
They've already forgot that what the Wii U was too. So all right, so.
Oh dear, you're in trouble when even your own employees at Nintendo don't even know what the heck you're advertising.
No, I mean, yeah. That's when you're in big trouble. Mama Mercy, your thoughts on this Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong is worth $60 to get my kids to leave me alone for a couple hours.
For the kids to leave you alone, so it's worth that. What about you, Skiz? You same thoughts, or what's your honest thoughts on this when it comes to the price and things like that?
I mean, I don't mind ports. I have bought the same game on multiple Final Fantasy VII. I have 2 copies of the original, one for the PS3, one for the computer, and I'll buy the remaster, the new version when it comes out. If the game is worth buying, yeah, she bought it 3 times. If the game's worth buying, it's worth buying. Donkey Kong in general, actually anything that they're porting from the Wii U generation, completely worth redoing, because like we've all kind of pointed out, a lot of people just skipped that generation.
Yeah.
And they haven't enjoyed it. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is a new game to a lot of Switch owners. They never had it on the Wii U.
Especially since we have 5 million more Switch owners than we did Wii U owners.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's more than it was originally. The Wii U was also dying when Donkey Kong came out. So they were like, oh, we'll do this game $10 cheaper. And then everybody came out and said that Donkey Kong or Tropical Country Freeze is the best Donkey Kong game they've made. So why not charge full price for it?
Yeah, and also I want to point out what Lucina says in the chat. Lucina says, George, it's not called Donkey Kong. It's called Danky Kang. Okay.
What?
Dude, good point, Lucina.
Danky Kang.
Danky Kang.
Mispronouncing names.
It's the best.
It's a meme joke.
It's the best.
Deal.
Yeah,
it's a meme joke. All right, yeah, man. No, actually, that's one white contract that says port from last gen full price. No, that's actually false. There's actually been a number of games that have been ported from last generation from previous generations to the current generations that were full price.
I'm pretty sure he's being sarcastic.
Oh, okay, is he being sarcastic? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a port from last gen full price? Nah, no one ever does that.
Okay,
he's being sarcastic.
Yeah, but anyway, I don't care. For me, I always say it's about choice. I say it's about choice for the developers. Like, I don't get mad. Like, if a developer like I'll say this again, if a developer wants to put the price of their game at something, that's fine. There are people out there that feel that might not have a PS3 or 360 or might not have a Wii U, and they would have bought it for $60 brand new then anyway. You know what I'm saying? So to me, developers put it, and if it's too expensive, you can always just wait. That's always been my case on this, and I'm not gonna say, oh, it's scummy, it's horrible, and this is the worst. I'm not gonna say that. What I'm gonna say is, if you think that it's bad, then just don't buy it. Or like, look, the Wii U version isn't going anywhere. That's the one thing that I want. Like, the Wii U version is still there. Like, I mean, obviously people talk about like them removing it from the eShop, but the physical version, which is probably the better version to get anyway, because the physical version, you get the nice box art, you get the game, and once again, Wii U does not run off of any type of, like, you don't have to download the game to your hard drive. All you need is enough for the save file, you know?
Yeah.
So you can just get the physical version, or you can buy a download code online. If you still want a digital one, there are download codes that you can buy online at various, like Amazon and different retailers. You can just buy that. So to me, the game is still available. If you want the cheaper version, get the cheaper version. If portability is important to you, it's there. So you got people who will pay extra for the increased resolution, the Funky Kong, whatever they want to do, and then you got people who won't. Then just buy the one that's cheaper. I don't see what I honestly don't see what the issue is.
And I think that's the other thing a lot of people aren't taking into account with the re-release is it's on a portable system. Just to be able to take my Switch into another room, add $10 to any game, add $20 to any game. I'm all right with it because it can now go with me everywhere.
Which means he can run away from the kids.
Run away with the Switch. And also, I love the point that I forgot who said it on Twitter, but some people have been saying, like, it's hilarious that now people care about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on Wii U, but for the past 4 years, how come they haven't been buying it and supporting the game?
Yeah, where was it? Well, okay, to be fair though, the console it was on was horrible. So
okay, but these same people make the argument that nothing's changed. That it's
that's
just,
true.
That's
true.
What I'm saying. So I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm with you there, Skiz. I'm with you. I'm right with you. But the problem that I have with that is like, okay, well, nothing's changed, right? They say, oh, well, it's the same game. Nothing's changed. It's not important. Like, nothing's better on the Switch. I'm like, okay, well then just play.
We don't have 3-minute loading screens.
Yeah, play the Wii U version. I mean, like I said, if you have I don't see what the issue is. The game is still there, in my opinion. Like, unless
if you have the Wii U, then just buy that version.
A lot of these people that are complaining.
But who has a Wii U anymore?
They have the Wii U. They have the Wii U, and they also have the Switch. They want to play it on the Switch. They don't think the game is worth the price on the Switch, but they still want to play it on the Switch. Portability is not important. Like, they'll say, oh, well, portability is not. It's not a big enough deal to. It should just be an added bonus. It shouldn't be something that's charged for. I'm like, okay. So then why don't but they don't think portability is important. Like, they're just saying that portability is like, okay, well then just play the Wii U. If portability is important, like, what is the point of replaying again on the Switch? If portability isn't a factor in your thought at all, then you should just play the game on the Wii U. Then there shouldn't be any.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a garbage thought anyway, because it took a lot of effort to get this level of console in a handheld state.
Yeah.
Neither, I mean, Sony tried the PSP and the PS Vita.
Yeah.
It never reached this level. And they still can't do it. And the Xbox, I mean, their stuff is getting bigger, not smaller.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I think it's because people don't want to. It's almost as if they're trying to find a way to not buy it on Switch, because they were almost like trying to promote the Wii U version, like saying, and like they're almost trying to get people to. It's like the Wii U is dead. I don't even think you can buy Wii U's anymore. Can you even buy a Wii U in stores anymore?
I found one Wii U at a secondhand store.
Yeah, so there you go.
You can't buy it like at Best Buy or like.
It was sold. You want to know how much it was going for?
How much?
$12.
$12.
$12. I still didn't buy it. It still wasn't worth buying.
Wait, $12?
Yeah, dude. I saw it. No. It was at we have a little like a secondhand store. You can come in. They have comic books and games and stuff.
I think I would have bought that though.
Bookman's.
That's what the place is called. But it's all users bring in stuff and they trade it out for other stuff that's there. And it was only $12. I still looked at it and went, no.
I didn't.
Hold up.
I got the Switch. I don't need this.
We don't need it.
The only
Switches.
The only reason I would have bought it was for Super Smash Brothers. Now with that coming up, the end of this year, I really had no reason to buy. I don't even have any Wii U games anymore. So.
Yeah.
Okay, my volume keeps on going back and forth, guys. I'm terribly sorry about that. I guess my volume's been low for like a lot of this podcast, so sorry about that, guys. I tried to raise it up. I don't know what happened and went back low, so hopefully it should be better now. So sorry about that, guys. It's probably gonna not play good, or whatever. But I just saw that you guys were talking about the voice being low, so sorry about that. But we are gonna get into questions here, guys.
Really quick, OJ. I have one more thing to say.
Oh, go ahead.
I think the masses are just mad it's another kids game.
But it's not a kids game.
It's not.
No, it's not a kids game. It's way too hard for a kids game.
But Donkey Kong is considered a kids genre, even though like Pokemon, I know more adults that play Pokemon than I do kids, but Pokemon is considered a kids game.
I don't know, because Donkey Kong, like the type of like the way Nintendo kind of puts it out there, it seems like they're trying to put it out there like to where kids can get into it. But like they know that it's like Donkey Kong is like for the older adult, like the old school fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure if they put it in the same bracket. I mean, I see what you're saying though. I see what you're saying, like with the look of it and kind of like what they've done and like some of the marketing and promotion.
You have to remember, it's not Call of Duty.
But like the way that Nintendo has like put it out there in terms of their marketing, like they know that the audience for this is almost all going to be 20 somethings, 30s.
Well, I don't think she's referencing like Nintendo. Yeah, they're definitely marketing it towards those of us who grew up with like Donkey Kong and stuff. But you look at the people who play games now, you have the Call of Duty college bros and stuff. They want the portability of the Switch. To them, Donkey Kong is a kid's game. It's not, it's not their adult mature title game.
And it's purely based on the aesthetics of it, obviously, because it's cartoony. It's a cartoon.
They don't play platformers. They want to murder somebody.
Tropical Freeze is hard. Like I've played it before, and I was destroyed.
Yeah.
I couldn't get through it.
Guys, that's what everybody's like. Oh, why did they add funky mode? I'm like, because kids can't play it.
As soon as I lose Dixie, I start sweating.
I start panicking.
The panic comes, and I'm dead serious. As soon as I lose Dixie, I'm like, this stupid Donkey Kong, like how weighty he is. Like I need to float. Like as soon as I lose Dixie, I start panicking. And you guys, I mean, if you guys saw my live stream, I lost Dixie, and I died. I died like 3 times.
Died right afterwards. Yeah.
And I was like,
you were getting shook.
Yeah.
In my honest opinion, the Donkey Kong Country games are much more than just kids. I think the best kind of games around are the kinds that you can pick up and play, no matter how old you are. And Donkey Kong Country just tends to be one of those game series. So I think labeling it as a kids game,
definitely.
And I think labeling it as a kids game is just a mistake, and it's totally not true.
Yeah, it's just perception from a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Right now, the generation of people buying games, with the few exception, between the ages of 15 and I want to say probably like 23, like they grew up with the Call of Duties and, Bulletstorm and stuff like that. So to them, those are video games and everything else is kids games.
I do want to say, I think in our generation, like when a lot of us grew up, like we grew up with just games being games. Yes, there was platforms, but we had Contra. We had games that were like that, but it wasn't like, oh, well, kids game, not kids game. Contra was to me like Mario. It was just, this is this game, this is this game. It wasn't until Sega kind of came in and was like, oh, this is kiddie, this type of deal, that really started happening. But when I was a kid, shooting someone with a gun was not any different than jumping on someone's head and them evaporating into thin air. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just...
They were all games until ESRB.
Yeah, they were all just games. They were all just games, no matter how violent they were, which there were violent games on the NES. I mean, it wasn't like Call of Duty, but I mean, Contra, you're literally you're shooting a bunch of people, you're murdering a bunch of people like all over the place.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Contra 3 was definitely anything but kids material. Well, it's quite violent.
Too. Yeah,
that too. And and how about Castlevania?
Castlevania, exactly.
I mean,
Castlevania.
It wasn't like a kiddie or not kid or this. No. I mean, it was just games. That was just how it was, and everyone just played them because everyone just kind of thought a lot of the parents just thought these were for kids anyway. Like everything's for kids, or
it's a Nintendo. It's all for kids.
It's a Nintendo. Right? You're playing Nintendo. You're playing Sega. You're playing Nintendo. Like you're always playing Nintendo. So that's what it was. But anyway, we're gonna move on to We are going to move on to questions. I want to give a quick shout out to Avidin hitting us with the $5 Streamlabs shimmy. Thank you so much, Avidin. Make sure you check out my boy Avidin's channel. He says Epic Cast here, man. Or he says Epic Cast here. So shout outs. Thank you so much, Avidin. Do appreciate the $5 donations. Let's go ahead and get into a couple questions. Guys, if you have some questions, we will be taking them. I'm going to extend it out a little bit more for about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll be taking questions. Sorry if we can't get through everyone's, but we do have to have a little bit of a hard cap on this cast here, guys. So in terms of time, because I know we got birthday boy here, so don't want to take up too much of their time. I also have some engagements that I've got to do later tonight as well. So
hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Questions.
Yeah, definitely.
Questions. And we'll be more than happy. Sean Diamond says, Player Essence, when do you think we will hear more about Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle DLC with Donkey Kong? I would think that we're going to hear about it at E3. I think E3, or maybe even a little bit before E3 in May as well, because Donkey Kong just launched now. Maybe I think they're holding on for then. So that's what I would think.
No comments from me on this.
Let's see here. Lucina says, Player Essence, did the flaming Chibi Robo sacrifice himself to become one with Smash? No.
Oh my god.
Absolutely not.
Lucina.
He just sacrificed himself because the franchise is dead. So that's what he did. Is that he knew that there was no help for him. So that's what he did. That's what he did there. So yeah. Let me see if there's any other questions here. I think people just got it, so they're trying to see the questions.
Avatar Renji's. Go ahead. Avatar Renji said, "Do bro, Nintendo's for kids." Me, have you ever played Fire Emblem? That's Fire Emblem. Yeah, Fire Emblem.
Exactly.
Oh, we've got one from Tony Konami Karan.
Okay. Since we're on the road to E3, do you think Nintendo will reveal a brand new exclusive trailer? Either during the showcase or Treehouse Live. Brand new exclusive. Oh, so like a new IP. That's what he means? I think he means like a new IP. I think it's possible. But I just don't know. Nintendo hasn't done I mean, they did ARMS, which was just last year, but I mean, like, and then a couple years before that was Splatoon 2015 for Splatoon. Yeah. So I mean, they could. They just did one last year, so I don't know if we're gonna get one this year. Maybe next year we get one, but they could.
I don't think they're gonna want to drop a new IP right now with Pokemon and Smash right around the corner.
Yeah. Might be
they might show a trailer at the very least of a new IP. I think.
Unless of course, it's for Retro's project, whatever it is.
I've stopped expecting Retro.
Let's just.
That's not.
I've been expecting Retro since like 2014.
I'm not gonna say one way or another, but I don't think Retro's game is a new IP. I don't think. That's all I'll say. I don't think it's.
Here we go.
I don't think it is. But we'll see. We'll see. We don't know. But I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Somebody knows.
No, I don't know nothing, but I don't think it is. I'm not sure. I
don't know anything.
But I just don't think my brain. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Hey, OJ, I've seen a lot of people act suspicious, and that was super suspicious.
I know. That was such a.
I'm just saying, I don't know anything.
I don't know anything. I'm not gonna say anything, but I don't know anything.
Oh my gosh, I've said nothing, guys. I don't know.
That's normally what people say right before they start running down the street and away from you.
Let's see here. I'm gonna try to go through and get some of them.
Always expect the unexpected with Nintendo. Whatever you think they're gonna do the complete opposite.
Yeah. Okay, that is good. Yes. That is good. That's a very good point.
OJ knows.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, he knows everything.
I didn't spill anything. I said
literally
nothing.
I completely agree with Skits. OJ knows.
Retro.
Nudge.
Let me just say this
wink,
right
wink.
now. Let me say this right now. Retro Studios.
Cough.
Ever since Retro Studios has been out here, have they ever done a new IP on their own? Like, really, everything that they've done has been Nintendo IPs.
Yeah, Nintendo. Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just based on that, because everything that they've done is Nintendo IPs. So
well, the reason why people think that Retro's doing a new IP was from a rumor that was started back in 2013. I believe it was from Emily Rogers, who said that in addition to Donkey Kong, Retro is also making something else, and it could possibly be a new IP, and that kind of snowballed into like, oh, they are working on a new IP. But it started from that rumor that has not been substantiated since then. You know what I mean? We have assumed that for the past 4 years, 5 years, because we haven't been proven wrong otherwise. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll just have to. Mr. Nickel. I'm not reading that on stream, Mr. Nickel, but I'm not reading. But you guys can all read what Mr. Nickel had to say.
I'm so teasing us.
Read what Mr. Nickel just said in the chat. I thought that was really funny. Ninx Lyco says, "P, what do you think of Labyrinth of Refrain coming out on the Switch?" I think that's cool. More RPGs, the better. So I always think that's cool. It's always cool to have more RPGs.
Agreed. I'm really impressed at how NIS in general is stepping it up in terms of Nintendo support. I mean, they barely did anything during the Wii U era for obvious reasons, but to see them have a complete 180 for this system, it's amazing.
NIS was like, "What's a Wii U?" They're like, "Oh, a Wii U? Oh, yeah, I never heard of that system. Switch? Okay, yeah, heard about that system." So.
I heard about that. Let's put stuff on that one.
System Switch. So let's go. Mother 3 bueno, Jay. Amiibo fans says, "Give us Mother 3. Come on, Reggie."
Oh,
it's coming up on the time that we're supposed to ask him again.
Okay.
Who knows when that'll be?
This is when it's coming. Now, what you have to do is you have to take Lucas and you have to take Ness's birthdays. Times it by 2. Play Smash Brothers for 10 minutes in a row. Just like straight Smash Brothers, 10-minute brawl in a row. Okay? Yeah. Count to 10. Beat Earthbound. Play the patch of Mother 3. Go into a bathroom, turn off the lights, and I don't know, say Earthbound and Mother back and forth for about 5 minutes, and that will reveal the date. You will have the Holy Ghost of Mother 3 come and get you. So follow those directions, and you will know when Mother 3 is coming.
You know, I think, to be fair, like, if they announced Mother 3 at E3 right now this year, we'd probably bump way over 20 million.
Yeah.
The world would catch on fire.
If he just, all he has to do is walk out with a baseball cap and a baseball bat in his hand, and he wouldn't even need just like a jacket, just the hat and the bat. Just walk out on stage, just put it down and walk away. You would watch Switch sales just skyrocket
because of an old Game Boy Advance game. Like,
I know.
Yeah, Roger just heard me talking about a hat and a bat and came running into the room and said, "What about Mother?
What about Mother 3?"
So then I tell you, from there, people are going to be like, "Oh, okay, so Mother 3, Half-Life 3,
Half-Life 3,
Mother Half-Life 3 confirmed." So yeah.
Oh my God. He was literally standing here like, "What do you guys know about Earthbound? We're getting Earthbound? We're getting 3?"
Come on,
I feel like Mother 3 is one of those games where, you know, it'd be cool to see, but I'm not gonna buy it.
I think Mother 3 is one of those games that Nintendo is just like, "We're not gonna tell you. We're not gonna tell you."
They're like Mr. Burns. They're just waiting for their opportunity.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly. Like,
now, to be fair, they'll launch that and everybody will rush out and buy it, and they'll sit there and play it and go, "Why did I want this so bad?
Why did I want this so many years?"
From what I understand, it's actually like, I mean, because you can play the game. Like,
the game itself is great, but like if you hear all the hype about it and that makes you want it, and then you pick up this, you know, top down like classic RPG style game, you're like, "Why did I want this so bad?"
Like everybody else was asking for it.
Very weird too, you know, like super
weird series.
Like Earthbound in general. Like,
people want what they can't have. We didn't get it, Japan did, so everybody wants it.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember playing Earthbound as a kid and like questioning my life, like questioning exactly what was happening. Why am I playing this game? Like, Earthbound was a very weird. I know other kids, probably you guys didn't have that experience, but Earthbound to me was just so like. I mean, this is for me, like, you know, I played Earthbound after Chrono Trigger, after Secret of Mana, after all of these other classes. And so when I played Earthbound, I was just like, I didn't understand why everyone was saying, like, even back then people were saying this game was amazing. It was super expensive though. It was like really expensive when Earthbound came out.
And packaged in a big box, if you remember.
Box. Yeah, this is. it was just so weird to me. Everything about Earthbound was just very weird, just in general.
Bizarro.
Yeah, bizarre, very bizarre type of game. And I did not understand the game when I was a kid and I played it. I still don't understand the game now. And I played it.
I absolutely love that game, though. It's a really fun game and very funny.
I do want to cut to a question real quick. Nix Lyko says donated $2 and says, are you guys excited for the Venom film? I'm excited for it, but I don't go crazy over films, but I'm excited for it because I'm a huge Venom fan. So I'm excited.
I'm excited for it
me too.
in hopes that we get a Carnage movie.
Carnage would be
a awesome. Carnage movie.
Is Carnage not going to be in the Venom movie?
I don't.
Probably not.
Venom is. This movie sounds like an origin type of movie.
Yeah, it's an origin story.
Yeah, it's an origin story, so it's not gonna have Carnage.
But there's a really good chance that the end of the movie is the introduction of the Carnage story.
I can't make any comments on it though because I don't know what it is, unfortunately.
Well, you know Venom, right? You know Venom, the character from Marvel, right?
From Spider-Man?
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah.
Nope, can't say I have.
You've
I don't follow the
Venom.
I've never heard of Venom.
Sorry, I'm just not into the comics as much. My best friend is, though.
So have you heard of Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, I've heard of Spider-Man. I'm just not a huge follower of Spider-Man.
I'm pretty sure if you saw a picture of Venom, you'd recognize the character immediately.
Okay.
It's like a big hulking dude. He wears like all black and then has like a white like spider on his like shirt. Like I'm pretty
white eyes.
Yeah, like white eyes. Like he has like white eyes and he has like a long tongue and nasty looking teeth. I'm pretty sure you'd recognize him. Like Venom is pretty.
It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, pretty terrifying. But yeah, you don't know Venom either way.
Venom and Carnage, but I really want Carnage.
Yeah,
Carnage.
I'm trying to look to see if there's any other questions. I don't see too many other ones here. Shout out to TurboGrafx Jesse. What's up, man?
T-Dude has just said 2 more weeks till I buy Black Panther on Blu-ray.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I heard that was a really good movie.
Hold on, I got a comment, OJ. I can't pronounce this person's name because their name is in kanjis. Yeah. But it says, whoever the woman is on the podcast is extremely beautiful. Please post the link to her channel so I can subscribe.
I can try pronouncing it. I think it's Parker Amino, I think.
Very nice.
Go, John.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
I hope I didn't. John. I'm only hoping I didn't butcher it too badly, though.
Wait, can you say it again, John?
Let's see. I think it's Parker Amino or Amin. I can't tell whether that last thing is an N or if it's a so, but I will tell you that at one point I did take Japanese, and katakana is closest that I can get to in terms of pronunciation because, as you know, whenever Japan names certain titles, they tend to use the hard-edged katakana to identify certain characters. The hiragana is a little bit more tricky. The kanji is where it gets really complicated.
Shout outs to Sean Diamond, who says, what games have you guys been playing on your Switch? I've been trying to get back into Skyrim. I've just been playing like a lot of the PE Arena games. That's it, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Rocket League and Mario Kart lately.
Yeah, Mario Kart. I played Donkey Kong. Obviously, I streamed that. So yeah, I streamed a lot of Donkey Kong. So yeah.
Bayonetta, Splatoon, and Mario Kart. So I can body you guys. I mean, what?
Team Leo. No, Team Leo.
Hashtag Team Leo.
Hashtag Team. Hopefully, Team Leo wins.
I know. Let's hope. We got Team Leo takes.
Yeah, we gotta get back on and start bodying some people.
We did good earlier today.
I've been playing some.
Wait, John, are you Team Raph?
What'd you say?
Are you Team Raph?
No, he's Team
No.
Are you
okay.
I was on Team Leo earlier today.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just had this look like, I'm not going to say anything. I was like, we got a Team Raph member in here.
Oh, no. I wasn't like that. I was just trying to think about answering the question about what games have I been playing lately. Because lately, I have actually gotten involved in several other things. But recently, I got to say, I've been having a blast with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's probably my favorite game on the Switch so far.
Did you guys read Julio's comment? I'm sorry.
I know. I was going to read it right now. I was going to read it. Can I read it?
I don't know if we should read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we should.
He says, Julio, George, is that a My Little Pony poster behind you?
What? That doesn't look like a little. Let me take a look. That doesn't look like a little. That doesn't look like a My Little Pony poster to me.
You a brony? I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a brony.
You a brony, George?
There's a lot wrong with being a brony. But...
Well, no. Everybody's entitled to their own preferences.
That's why I said that's my personal opinion.
Well, if you
So
don't
why
like
the
it,
guys laugh about being like whether it's okay or not to be a brony? Let's smash that like button, people. We got 154 people watching and only 94 likes. What's going on? It's my man's birthday. We're all streaming here. It's a beautiful Saturday. Let's hit that like button. Let's get more ninjas to the village.
Let's get at least 100. At least 100 likes.
At least 100.
Although,
Do it for me. Do it for Mama.
John, they responded out and said your Japanese language reading skills are spot on perfect.
Oh, thank you. Even though I don't really think that I'm as good as I could be. But thanks for the compliment.
Nice. Okay. Well, you know what, guys? We've been going for about an hour, a little bit less than that. We got to make sure we got a hard cap on this one, just because there are some other stuff that all of us are going to be doing for tonight. I'm also going to be on the Spawncast later tonight. John from Spawn Waves, his podcast. So make sure you guys check me out on there. But we do have one more thing here. I will get this in.
So you got one more question.
Yeah, because Nick Slikos hit us with the $5 donation. He says, do you guys think that we might get Persona 5 on Switch? Oh, this is the age-old question. Also, that you have a new awesome guest on your channel. Yeah, so this is, I think, bringing back the community podcast, I think that was really Mama Mercy that kind of got me to make sure that Mama Mercy and Ataki, those two were said, hey, like OJ, like you got to make sure you do your podcast again. I was still trying to figure out how to bring it back in a way to bring it back to where it'd be cool for you guys. And I'll just, you know what, let's just skip it. Let's just do straight up podcasts. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for giving me that push, Mama Mercy and Ataki. And yeah, it's great. I have some. I mean, we had to cut 1 hour out of PE Arena, you know. But it was a necessary sacrifice.
And people seem to really enjoy this.
Yeah, because people will enjoy this. It's more content for you guys. People will enjoy. Not everybody likes PE Arena, you know. So I think it was good to get you guys actually on here, which is I don't think any other you know. So it's interesting. So in terms of Persona 5, dude,
hopefully,
I don't know. Hopefully, but I just don't. At this point, I don't know.
I personally don't think so.
Just keep putting out the good vibes to the ether, and hopefully the Nintendo gods will hear it. And the Atlas
Sony
gods.
We need the Atlas gods to be on our, because you know the Atlas gods. You know they're looking at the 3DS and they're like, 3DS, right? You want Persona 5 on the 3DS? Knowing that they'll put it on the 3DS. No, I'm joking.
I may be wrong about this, but aren't they the guys who make Tim? Shoot, I can never say this game's name.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so what we gotta do is we gotta buy that, and they'll see it sells, and then we'll get Persona 5. So
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt
the famous question: buy a game from them, and you'll get it on there. All we can do is just. I really don't know.
I mean, I'll buy Shin Megami Tensei 5 just because I want to play it, but I don't expect Atlas to be like, hey, they like this game, so let's put.
Problem is,
I don't think so.
Aren't we getting a dancing game? Aren't we getting Persona 5?
No,
we're not getting that either. Oh man, they're missing out.
I thought Persona 5 was an exclusive to Sony. That's why it can't come to other systems.
We don't know. I don't think it's
for only a year, because it's only ever a year.
I don't think it's an outright exclusive, like it's 100%. But I think that there's definitely a deal, like a time deal in place. I know that.
Yeah,
probably. Who knows?
Because it never came out directly as an exclusive. They did call it. If you ask Atlas about it, they will respond with, "We're unable to move it to another system at this time." That's their at this time. So I think it was timed.
Fancy PR speak, that's what it is.
Who knows? We'll have to wait and see about that.
Because obviously, like, Persona 5, I don't know how much Sony paid for it. It must be pretty good. But, I mean, I think it would be, if it was like an outright, like, it can't go anywhere else, I think it would be, Atlas would literally be losing out on millions upon millions upon millions of dollars if they don't bring Persona 5 to the Switch. Like, that's the thing. Like, Persona 5 would do significantly well, even at this point. Like, you can bring it out years later. I think people will still, I think there'll be double dippers. I think there's people that want to play the game in Japan just portable. I mean,
definitely.
There are people in Japan who just want to have a chance to play it.
Yeah, just want to have
definitely.
PS4s. I mean, it's obviously like bringing it on Switch would be a good idea. But I mean, it's just we don't know how much Sony spent. We don't know we don't know the deals when it comes to it.
I mean, Persona Q was on 3DS, so a Persona spin-off-ish type of thing was on a Nintendo system. So maybe that'll lead to maybe Alice bringing over. But then again, you could say the same thing about Shin Megami Tensei 5. Like, do you think they could bring Shin Megami Tensei 5 from Switch to PS4 or Xbox in the future? Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
It could.
Fingers crossed. That's all I can say. Fingers crossed.
We just don't know. Like, Atlas does some weird things, but I do want to mention this before we wrap up here with outros and everything. Julio, once again, being the GOAT, dude. Thank you so much, Julio. I do appreciate all the donations today. Donated a Toby Blaster of $25, and he says, Team Leo is trash. Mama Mercy, I'm sorry, but why did you choose a horrible team? So he's asking a question.
What?
Mama Mercy.
Mama Mercy, want to feel that one?
I am not basing my choice for Leo on this generation, the new one that's coming out. The last one they just did in 2012, their Leo was on point, and I am 100% a Leo. This guy over here is a Raph, but I am 100% a Leo.
I just chose Leo to piss off Julio. That's all I did.
Also, my favorite color is blue, so.
Yes, that.
Okay.
I chose Leo because I didn't have an option.
You do have an option.
The option
I went with
Team Leo.
I had one option. Choose Leo.
I had one option.
I only went with Team Leo because even though it's been a while since I've seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I do remember Leonardo being the head leader, and I just have a thing for trying to go for main characters and something like that. So that's why I went with Leo.
Exactly. Do you guys not see me on Discord? I am Discord mom. Like, I am a leader through and through.
I like Ralph more than Leo, but
yeah, because
I had to pick.
You have that hot-headed side of you.
I know,
and so does Skits over here.
That's why I like Ralph. I definitely super.
But I am like the calm thinker. But look where that got us. Like, I am a Leo through and through. We got a house because I plan things out.
Oh man, completely.
Damn.
Skiz, did you do anything, Skiz?
You showed up.
What have you done?
I show up and things work out. That's just how it works.
He shows up, he gives me money, I do the plan, and now we have a house.
Okay.
That's how it works.
That's
We
how
got
it works.
teamwork going on. Like, Raph keeps Leo in check, and Leo keeps Raph in check. That's what's going on here. But I am definitely the family planner.
Awesome. Yeah, you gotta have somebody to do it. Gotta have somebody to. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. This was probably, I think we've laughed the most. This is the most laughter on the podcast we've had.
I'll say.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. Mr. Nickel, please.
What's up?
Please become a $1 Patreon so you can be on the Discord, because you would fit in the Discord so well.
Nickel,
oh my gosh, you've
so
just been
trash.
killing it all day. Please, Mr. Nickel, we need you.
We need you, man. We need you. Try. Get
You too, Lucina. We need you too. Just $1. Just $1.
Get that dollar. Get those dollars in your pockets.
Yeah, dollars.
OJ's pockets.
Dollars in your
those
pockets.
dollars in your pockets.
OJ, that's my favorite thing that you do on the channel.
The dollars in your pockets.
Yeah, I love that story. Hey, fellas.
Fellas, oh yeah, how you guys doing? How's everyone doing today? You guys having a good day today? Fellas, put your dollars in your pockets. Everyone's like, what is he talking about?
No, you don't need to evolve into Mr. Dollar. You just need to come over. You just need to come to the village and be part of the Discord village.
The funniest part with that whole thing though is that we were at that stage in Mario Kart where Wario was like that. Julio, hitting us with another $20 donation. He says G5 takes L's all day. What?
Yeah, Jesus. This is the fourth time.
Oh my god. Talk about
the fourth time,
this
Julio.
man Julio's been futon Rasengan, like seriously. Futon Rasengan. Like Julio, he don't even have to make a shadow clone. His hands don't get all jacked up from the futon Rasengan. He just makes it and just blast this man. Like just
You know what? Hold on. Mr. Nickel.
G5. I swear, G5.
Julio,
G5 says, Julio, you're dead to me.
He's been destroyed. Oh my gosh, man! This man be coming back like a Orochimaru getting destroyed. So I got more lives than a Orochimaru, been killed so many times.
You guys are losing me for a minute.
Sorry, you got to know. This is Naruto lore that we're going.
Yeah,
a little bit of Naruto lore. So thank you so much. There's a little, just for those who don't know, there's a little rivalry between Julio. How does my song taste? And G5. So yeah, Julio, make sure to talk plenty of trash there.
A little, no.
A little.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Julio is like donated like so money.
Julio
just to prove a point.
Just to prove it.
No, but thank you, seriously, Julio. I do appreciate the donations. I really do. And I'm gonna go ahead and go over my outros here. So we're gonna start with George. George, where can everyone find you, my boy?
You can find me on Twitter at George Alamio1, and you can also find me on Twitch. I'm trying to get to 50 followers on Twitch so I can become a Twitch affiliate. I stream games with the community on a pretty much daily basis. We play Mario Kart, we play Rocket League, pretty much all the games on Switch that are multiplayer. I also play single player games, but it's just kind of, just pretty much what we do on a daily basis on Discord and in OJ's Discord, of course. But Twitch, can I put my link?
Plug your Twitch and whatever else.
Yeah, definitely. I just put
like
my.
You haven't watched an EssenceCast before.
You guys are all part of the village. You guys are building your own villages. You guys, and we're all one big family. So you guys are more than happy to plug your
yeah, I just put the link to my Twitch in the channel. I just need 4 more followers, guys. I'd be really appreciate. I would really appreciate it.
Let's go, guys. Get
and he is Mama Mercy approved.
Yes,
he's got a little Mercy approved.
You guys,
and I
watch my streams
all the time.
And Mama Mercy is pretty much always on my streams. So if you like Mama Mercy, check me out also.
I stalk George.
And then next we are going to go to John Turner. John Turner,
can you?
Well, I do have an account on YouTube, which I'll be pasting here right now. See, there it is. And I also have a Facebook account, but I'm not necessarily going to be sharing that for personal reasons because...
just share whatever you want to... go ahead and plug and share whatever you want to share.
Yeah, well, on my YouTube channel, there really isn't a whole lot of stuff. But recently, I've been uploading a resynced remix of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And by that, I mean I fixed a lot of the timing issues with the mouth flaps in the dialogue, using time compression expansion in Pro Tools to make the dialogue fit. So if you're one of those people who doesn't like to see gaping mouths during cutscenes, this is what I've done. So you're welcome to take a look at it. I tried my best to make sure it fits so that it doesn't look very distractingly obvious. But
and also Mama Mercy, where can they find you?
I am on YouTube now and Twitter. I started, guys. You guys talked me into it. So here is my YouTube channel. And here's my Twitch. And I play with George.
Yeah.
and Skits.
Julio and G5 are going back.
Yeah, they're going at it. I guess the next Splatfest is Julio against G5.
They're going to end up. I just reminds me of like I don't know, like Goku and someone's like fighting in space and they're just
it's Goku and
Vegeta. Goku versus Vegeta.
Or just like fighting in space, just hyper fighting, just punching each other. And also, it's his birthday boy. Where can they find you at, man? I know you started up some big stuff this week, right?
I did. I got started up my YouTube channel, so that's out there. Unbound Gamer. Don't use the right-click go to channel on this avatar because you won't find it. There's a link to the channel there. I'm also on Twitch. I play with George and Mama Mercy a lot on there too. So.
The community is very supportive.
Very supportive.
So go ahead, Mama Mercy.
And we're nice. And if you want to see what the community is like when we're not around at OJ, check us out.
You guys act different. What? Why?
You're not as family friendly.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
OJ, you gotta spend
friendly.
You gotta spend 10 minutes in the chat with us at night.
Okay. I'll have to do that. I'll have to.
We're still good. We're just
George, don't be embarrassed. We're all adults, and it's not going to be live unless you're streaming it. But
I probably will be.
I think we got George a ton of ban emails the other night.
No, we did not get him banned.
No,
we did not get him banned.
I got 16 copyright claims emails from Nintendo.
Yeah, his 16 emails from Nintendo. Nintendo loves him.
Yeah.
I'm on Nintendo's list.
Guys, so we are gonna raid someone today. So
Oh yay!
I do have a raid. We've raided this guy before. His name is Chem Easy. He's playing the Splatfest right now. So I'm going to drop the link to his channel. You guys let him know that Player Essence sent him. So you guys check out my boy Chem Easy. The link. Oh, hold up here. Okay. The problem is that I tried to drop the link into his own chat. That's I dropped it into the wrong chat. So let's go ahead and drop the link there. You guys check it out. I just dropped the link. Check out my boy Chem Easy. Make sure you guys let him know Player Essence sent you guys.
Oh my god.
Yo, wait a minute. G5 was just timed out by Mark.
Oh my god.
What are you guys okay, you know what? I'm done. I don't know what's going on here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Julio. Everyone who donated subscriptions. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you guys for the. I don't know what's going on in that chat. I'm done, but I'm done. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Live long and prosper.